Alright, in getting to the exhaust manifold, we've removed the battery over here, the air box over here. Pretty straightforward. That takes about maybe half an hour, but the thing to make sure you definitely remove is the deck lid. And down here you can see some light down there. There's one part of the manifold there, one there, and one there, and basically you want to hit those bolts on the inside there with some PB Blaster. As you can see, that one is missing a bolt. On this side, it's a lot more difficult because you gotta really get down there. And so that is under the heat shield, which we're going to be removing soon. But I've already hit the heat shield bolts there with some PB Blaster as well. And one there. You also want to hit PB Blaster on the Y pipe. Right there, part of the Y pipe there. And the Y pipe over here. That's where that actually conjoins to, there it is, to the down pipe. Right there. So yeah, it's coming along. And we'll return once we have everything loosened up and go from there. Alright, so some little progress has been made. We've got the wheel well out, and this is so that you can access, there's a wheel well that attaches there with some clips and some screws all around the side. And once you get that out, then you can get the road chip guard that's basically protecting this undercarriage here. And then you can access the AC compressor, which is right there. But before we get to that, we also have to get the catalytic converter from the downpipe down all the way back out. You have to remove the springs, see right there. Unclip those. And up here, you see way down there, there's a bracket right there. And that bracket, you can get a good shot of it, maybe. That bracket basically holds the muffler itself right there in place. Ah, my light went out. So there's one bracket on that side. And that connects there. And then there's another bracket on this side. So once we have all that done, the whole thing will drop out. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, once you drop the exhaust out, there's your up pipe there. I can't get a good view here. That's your Y pipe. And then goes down into your down pipe, which was, where is it, Jen? Can you show them the down pipe that we had to cut off?
Oh, yeah.
Over there. Yeah, so that, we had to cut that out. But that goes to the cat right there, and then on out. So once you cut that off, once you get that off, then the whole system just drops. And then comes the fun part. You take off the shield that's normally here. So it's like a shield right there, and then you can get to the compressor. Now you remove this bolt here, that's normally here, this is the tensioner bolt. There's another bolt on the other side up in here, and it's easier to get from the top side. That one, depending on if your AC has been serviced recently, we got lucky and this is a fairly new compressor and it wasn't too hard. But there's some other options to try to break it loose. I recommend using, where's the thing? Down here is where the last part is. And you got, see right up there, there's the hole. And there's another side to that comes off there. this is the tool that we used, and it's nice because it angles and it's a ratchet. So that's probably the best way to get on the other side of this. And once you get that, then basically this is going to essentially be free, and we can move it out of the way. Definitely strap it. We've got a we got a love sack and furniture, and we're strapping it from the top up there. You see, and that way it won't fall off and destroy these connectors. But basically, we're going to move it out of the way, and then we're going to get to working on the actual headers up there. All right, see you soon. No, I think we're good. All right, so we got the bracket removed. This guy right here. This is the tensioner. Bracket goes right there. And we remove that. So now this is, you can move this around as needed, and it won't put too much tension on that. And now we can get up in there. Yay! So as you can see, the catalytic converter was completely missing at this point. Here's a shot of us removing the bolts from the manifold itself. Wide shot here. And the missing bolt on the rear side. And the big kahuna breaking the bolt. Not a fun situation. Alright, might as well talk about this now. So we had a bit of a fiasco when removing the front headers, and broke off one of the header bolts inside there. So this plate I've got here is actually screwed into where the manifold was screwed into on the block. And right there is our broken off bolt in there, if you can see it. Down in there. And this is a jig with a drill that we're going to drill out the hole exactly while it's still in the car. It's gonna be so much fun. Big shout out to Rodney Dickman for providing that jig. It was a lifesaver. When we had the headers removed, we went ahead and ported the headers. This is the before shot, and as you can see, way better in the after shot here. After that, we went ahead and wrapped them, and since we couldn't restore the original heat shields, and that's with it inside the car. And onward. It's been a hell of a ride. So we've gotten everything done now. We had to remove 2 broken bolts inside the head, one on the front of the engine, one on the rear. That took about 4 days total. One of them we actually broke off the bolt extractor inside the bolt, which took total of 24 hours to remove totally. Thank goodness for Dremel, by the way. If you ever have this happen to you, use a Dremel and chisel it out over time. It takes a long time to do. But regardless, everything is in there nicely now. Let's see, back there. Let's see that one. Under here, we've got nice shiny new exhaust all the way down, and a new catalytic converter. So hopefully there's no leaks, and we're almost done putting everything back together. Just got the battery back in. It is almost midnight, so unfortunately everybody's asleep, and I'll be dressing up the cables a little bit better, but it looks like we're about ready to crank it over. We were not able to get the original heat shields back, so that's why we have wrap, titanium fiberglass wrap. So it's hopefully that'll work. But yeah, it's been crazy. I wish I could have kept everybody up to date a little bit better on the entire process. It did not go smoothly. I would not recommend doing this if you only have a week to do it. Plan for failure. And plan for a broken bolt, because it's going to happen. Unless the previous mechanic had the foresight to use a hefty amount of anti-seize. Which, by the way, always use anti-seize. on everything at this point. Honestly, I think it's the only thing that will save us in the future. Obviously, where it makes sense, such as header bolts and certain exhaust things that get really hot, mostly brakes, obviously. And that's about it. I'm sorry that this wasn't a better tutorial video, but I think I'm gonna end it here. I'm gonna have some videos and try to piece something together. But yeah, sorry, Fiero community. Wasn't as good as I had hoped. Peace. Well, the next video will be us trying to start it. All right, it's the morning. We are ready to start it. It does nothing.
Or something,
or
hopefully.
A lot.
What was that?
Oh, that's the starter. They are all different. Alright, Jenny's starting the engine for the first time since we took it apart. Here we go. Yeah, baby! That was it. So that screeching noise you heard earlier was us not putting the shim back in for the starter motor. Kind of important. The smoke that we were seeing was a combination of the burn off from the wrap, the exhaust wrap, and the anti-seize that's burning off from all the bolts that we put on. Should be good though. Everything looks good. Running like a top. Yeah, there we go. Woo! She's back, baby. Let's hear it.